Pope Francis was laid to rest yesterday in Rome. Our Chris Livesay has our report.
Benedicta tui mulieribus.
Of all the world leaders coming to the funeral of Pope Francis, no one raised both more tension and excitement than President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodomyr Zelenskyy. As the funeral for Pope Francis progressed in St. Peter's Square, we met Olga Vilsanka from Ukraine.
He always said, please pray for Ukraine. Please remember the suffering people of Ukraine.
The papacy has always been a political as well as a religious institution. Pope John Paul II used it to speak out against communism and is widely seen as having played a role in the fall of the Soviet Union. Monsignor Karl Castell, who's lived through 7 papacies, says Francis was just as outspoken.
Not everybody liked it, but whether it was the President of the United States or the President of the Russian Federation or whoever, he would say what he thought was the right thing to say for the Pope.
In 2016, while returning from a trip to Mexico, that meant speaking out against U.S. conservatives over mass migration when he said, "A person who thinks only about building walls is not Christian." Then candidate Donald Trump fired back.
For a religious leader to question a person's faith is disgraceful.
Francis and his social agenda will no doubt be on the minds of cardinals when they elect the new pope next month.
In the recent past, we've had several cases of popes who have had enormous political influence as well. It all depends on whether or not they're listened to.
It's a point not lost on Vilsanka from Ukraine.
Do you think that in Pope Francis's death, that at this very funeral, peace might eventually come?
God willing. God willing.
Zelenskyy said his meeting with Trump could be historic if they achieve joint results. Hours later, as President Trump was flying back to the U.S., he took to social media to blast Russian President Vladimir Putin for firing missiles into civilian areas.
That was our Chris Livesay in Rome.